Thank you. Good evening and welcome to our 2010 Spring High School Band Concert. No better way to start off a spring evening with a piece of Sousa, right? I mean, how can you beat that? I've been doing spring concerts since I was 10 years old, and I never get tired of them. There's something in the air about a spring concert, and Sousa just makes it all that much better. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. Our next piece, we really kind of programmed a pretty heavy concert tonight. Just a lot of classic band literature, and I hope you're going to enjoy this. I know I've enjoyed working on it with the kids. The next piece we're going to do, we took two movements of Holst's Second Suite in F for military band. This is a very standard piece of band literature. It's been being played since the early 1900s. Gustav Holst is probably one of my favorite all-time composers, this is one of my favorite all-time pieces. And we just picked two of the pieces. What we're trying to do tonight is display a lot of different styles, a lot of different things from the kids. But these are very classic band literature things. We're going to do two of the movements. The first movement is called March, and it's not your typical march. It's a Holst march, and they're a little bit different. It's very British, and it's also it's not really your typical march form, march that you would typically, like Sousa March, it's going to be the same every time almost. This is a little bit different. And then the third movement is called Song of the Blacksmith, and it's a meter piece. It's a piece with uneven meters, and I want you to listen to it closely and see if you can picture a blacksmith working. And you should hear things in the piece that actually make you think of a blacksmith working. So this is two movements, the first and third movements of Gustav Holst's Second Suite in F, March and Song of the Blacksmith. Thank you. Well, for the last couple of years, we've been doing things a little bit differently than we've done in the past. We've kind of combined everything into one big hour. Since Chris came on board as a full-time band director, we kind of lost that whole jazz in the day thing and the schedule thing and our theory. And it was, hold on just a second. Watch, you're right at the edge over the piano, guys. Chris, Mr. Bookie, you're right at the edge of the piano there. Okay, I was freaking out a little bit. Sorry, just had a freak out moment. All right, I was like, looked out the bad side, my bad. All right, so what we've done the last couple of years is we've tried to deliver everything we've been doing. We've tried to keep delivering everything we've been doing, but do it all out of first hour. So we have one big band, and we pull out jazz band out of there multiple times, maybe once or twice a week, depending on what's happening along the way. We're pulling percussion ensembles out as well. So we might have everybody in band 1 or 2 days a week because they're either with jazz band or with a percussion ensemble. We have multiple percussion ensembles, and also we're also having full orchestra rehearsal, full orchestra experience for some of our wind players and percussion players because Mr. Hostler has been doing full orchestra things. So we have wind players, percussion players going over to orchestra as well. So there may be a person here who maybe gets to rehearse full band maybe once or twice a week in certain times of the year. So the cool thing about that is, and Mr. Bookie made this point the other day, this really puts them kind of on the same level as a college player. When you go to college, you may have a couple rehearsals a week. They might be an hour and a half, 2 hours long, but you don't have a rehearsal every day at college usually. So it's the responsibility of the player to know their individual parts and to be on top of what they need to do to pull their part off and contribute to the group. So it's the kids are getting some serious experience, and also when you take some of the first and second and third chair players out and put them in other groups, everybody who's sitting fourth, fifth, sixth chair, we talk all the time about we have no second string players. Everybody's a starter in band. We don't have anybody on the bench. Everybody has to do their fair share. So it really forces everybody to make sure they're on top of their part, because you take 3 or 4 people out of a section, all of a sudden, if something's not going on, I can find out who it is pretty easily. So it kind of puts a little bit more pressure on them to know their parts and to work hard. So it's been a cool thing. It's been difficult to get everything done, but I think in the long run it's been a good thing because the kids are still getting good experiences in jazz, they're getting good experiences in percussion ensembles, they're getting great band literature, and on top of that we'll pull out kids and go play at a bond issue rally with 40 kids or something like that, or we'll go do some kind of special event with some kids. So, and on top of that we have kids that are doing all kinds of other things. We had our pit, obviously our musical back in March, and a lot of these kids were involved in that either on stage with the crew or a lot of them in the pit orchestra. And so the kids get a lot of opportunities to play in different ensembles along the way. And so we're going to give you a little bit of taste tonight of our jazz band. And I do want to congratulate them. Back in March, they went to the District 10 Jazz Festival and received a First Division Superior rating. So I'd like to recognize them for that. And 2 weeks from last night, on the 19th, will be our jazz and percussion ensemble concert here in the PAC at 8 o'clock, right? 8-ish. We always are waiting for athletes to come in. And luckily we got everybody here ahead of time tonight. Usually we have several people in athletic uniforms and everybody's able to get here tonight. So, but that, we have to kind of wait for athletes sometimes that night. But 8 o'clock, the 19th, jazz and percussion. If you haven't seen that concert, you need to come out and check it out because it was a great concert. And Mr. Bookie, do you want to announce anything, or you just want to go for it?
It's on the score. This is a piece called "All the Things You Are." This was our kind of ballad, but we did it with a little Latin flair.
So, Mr. Bookie and the Kennewick Hills High School Jazz Ensemble. Okay, while they're switching back, I do want to announce a couple other things. We have some great opportunities coming up for you. We've already talked about the Jazz and Percussion Ensemble concert. Next Thursday, the 13th, is our grade 5 through 12 orchestra concert, spring concert. And if you haven't heard the orchestras, you need to get out and hear them. They're just doing some great things with the orchestras. And Mr. Hostler's, I'm going to assure you, I'm going to have a great program for you. There's never a dull moment with Mr. Hostler, so you need to come out and check out the orchestras. So that'll be 5 through 12 orchestras next Thursday. And then on Tuesday, the 18th, our high school orchestra and some of our band kids, because it's going to be a full orchestra setting, have a wonderful opportunity. We're going to be doing what we call a side-by-side concert with the Grand Rapids Symphony. We'll actually have members of the Grand Rapids Symphony who will come out here, and they'll play a few numbers by themselves, and then we'll do 2 or 3 numbers along with them. Each one of our kids gets to sit right next to a Grand Rapids Symphony musician and play with the same music, the same stuff, and do the same. They get to play right along with the Grand Rapids Symphony. And it's such a great opportunity for our kids. And so it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for the kids and for our audiences. I do want to point out it's a little different because we're using this concert as a fundraiser. The orchestra's trying to raise some money. They want to do some different things with uniforms. And so they're going to do this as a fundraiser, and we're going to sell tickets. And I think tickets are on sale from from orchestra members. Tickets are $8 for adults and $5 for students. Now, before you cringe about that, think about how much it would cost for you to go downtown to DeVos Hall and see the Grand Rapids Symphony. It would not cost you $8, that's for sure. So we're going to do that. We're going to ask you to, we're going to ask that you come and see the orchestra that night on the 18th and the Grand Rapids Symphony. Again, you get to hear the symphony first, and then our kids right along with the symphony. So a great opportunity for you as an audience and for our students as well. So hope to see you there. Hopefully on the way in tonight you saw a table that has sign-ups for festival downtown. Food booth down at Festival is one of our biggest fundraisers. We are going to need many, many workers. We'll be starting on Thursday, June 3. With loading and setting up and taking everything downtown and setting up and getting ready to go. And then there will be work sessions or work shifts that you can do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you come down and work for a couple hours. It's great fun. We serve shrimp, barbecued shrimp on the grill. We serve fresh squeezed and shaked, fresh squeezed and lemonade, all right? So it's great food. It's a great time. Come down and work. You get to see all the crazy people downtown and all the normal people downtown, and they all go together. It's pretty cool. If you haven't been down to Festival, you got to go and check it out. So please sign up for time to work. We also have we've been hosting here at Kennewood Hills several dance competitions this spring, and if you're a band parent or an orchestra parent, we would love to have you come and help on I want to say the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Am I right? Of May. It's not Memorial Day weekend, but the week before that. It's a huge, big dance competition coming in. We need lots of workers. If you would go to our website, and there's a Survey Monkey. I love to say Survey Monkey. And if you go to the website, you can sign up to work, and or you can come right into the band room and sign up for working times. So we'd love to have more workers there. We need lots of people to help. With the way things are financially right now with schools across Michigan, we don't know what's going to happen for sure right now. And we are trying to do as much fundraising as we can so that we can keep our programs going the way we want to. We don't know what's going to happen. We may be asked to pay for transportation. We may be asked to pay for lots of things that the school board has typically covered for us, because we've had a wonderful school board that has very graciously supported this program for many years. And quite frankly, they have their hands tied. The state is doing some funky things right now financially. I'm sure you've heard about it. If you are so inclined that you'd like to contact your state legislator and tell them to please figure out how to fund schools, that would be a great idea. Maybe if we knew what we had coming in, we could make some plans. And it's been a crazy time. So any fundraising we do is going to go right back into this program, and please, we're going to try to keep our kids, giving them the same opportunities we've always given them. So please sign up for slots for working. We're going to go, the second half of our program tonight is basically, it's all hymn songs, and, mostly American hymn songs. This first piece of music we're going to play is one of my all-time favorites to listen to and or play. It's a beautiful piece of music. It's based on the hymn, It Is Well With My Soul. And if you don't know the story, it's a wonderful story. It's a very sad, heart-wrenching story. A young minister was called to preach in England, and had to send his wife and two daughters along ahead of him. And on their voyage across the Atlantic, their ship sank, and he lost his young family. And so when he came back, when he made the trip himself, the ship he was on stopped at the point where the ship was lost, and they gave him some time, for some contemplative time. And in that voyage, along with that voyage, he penned the words, "It is well with my soul." And if you can have, no matter whatever your beliefs are, if you have that kind of faith, that kind of strong faith that you can pen the words, "It is well with my soul," when something tragic like that has happened, that's pretty strong. And hopefully you'll hear that kind of emotion coming in this piece. It's, again, based on "It is well with my soul," and this is just a gorgeous piece of music. Thank you. Now, our last piece of the night is, it's called American Hymn Song Suite, as it says in your program. And I love this piece of music. We've taken 3 American hymns. You'll recognize the hymns. But they've treated them very differently. We've treated them with meter changes or odd meters or weird things like that. We've thrown some American harmony, some jazz into it. So we've taken American hymns and then we've taken true American music, jazz, and we've kind of fused it all together. And there's 3 movements. The first movement is a little bit more of an up-tempo thing. The second one is a very slow and soft, very jazz-oriented, jazz chords thing. And then the third one is a very much of a metered piece, an odd metered piece. And I think you're really going to enjoy this. I want to thank you for being here tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, we want you to please sign up for work times and keep supporting these kids. You'll see them in the Memorial Day parades in Marne and Standale on the 31st of May. And, of course, we'll be playing at graduation on June 2. And then we are back at it. And I've had several people ask me, what are we doing for marching band? People are just dying to know what we're going to do for next year's marching band show. So, I'll tell you in a couple weeks. Stay tuned. Sorry, I had to do that to you. Okay, thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoy this piece, and have a great evening. Take your kids out and celebrate afterwards with some ice cream, maybe, okay? Thank you very much. hear you one more time for the jazz band, Mr. Blicky also, please. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I hope to see you for the side-by-side on the 18th, next week, the 13th, for the orchestra concerts, and then the 19th for jazz percussion ensemble concerts, and then we'll wave to you on parade routes on Memorial Day. So sign up for work assignments. Thank you so much for being here this evening, and enjoy your evening. Thank you very much. Good night. Come back and stand down the stool, back up the stop, go back to that chair.